Hey everyone, Kerry Knoll here, and today we're going to learn about sub-accounts within HighLevel. So with that being said, let's get started. Okay, in this video I want to talk a little bit about sub-accounts. So sub-accounts is where all the real magic happens when you have HighLevel. And if you have the agency or pro plan, you have access to create sub-accounts and as many as you want on either one of those plans as well. It's unlimited, right? So the first thing you can do is you can click on create new sub-account. And if I click on that, it will bring this up here where you can select snapshots if you want to load a snapshot directly into the new sub account right from the get-go. Of course, you can always add it later, and that's typically how I do it. I rarely ever load up a snapshot immediately when I create the sub account, but you can do that, which is what I'm sharing with you here. So you have the vertical snapshots, or industry or niches is what I like to call it instead of vertical, and you can start with a blank one, which is normally how you would start to create a sub account. But if you knew specifically you wanted to create one for an attorney, you could grab that one. Auto dealers, chiropractors, coaching, CrossFit, day spa, dentist, gym, hair salon, home services, marketing agency, martial arts, medical spa, mortgage loan, pest control, real estate, restaurant, solar, and yoga are some of the predefined ones. Then you have your own snapshots. So I have 20 of those right now. And then I have 11 imported where I got them from somewhere else. And then what you would do, like I said, is you would click on one of these. So I'd click on select and continue with the blank if I don't know what I want to load into it initially. And then once I do that, it gives me this again where I can allow my browser to find the location of where I am, and then I can search for the business if I want to create it based on a business. So if I wanted to do that and do the same thing we just did with the prospecting in the previous video, if I want to do dentist near me, I could type that in, and then I could pick a dentist that is near me. So if I was looking for the one that was already, that I just did the prospecting report for, which was Rain Spring Dental, I think it's not listed here for some reason or another, which is interesting because it should be on Rainbow here and it's not being shown or listed. So that's kind of interesting to me that it's not there. But if you want to use another example, we could just pick one like this one. And I'm not sure which one this one is, so it does not pop up, unfortunately, when I click on it. But what we can do is we can look at the list of ones over here. So if we were looking for, let's say, Sahara Dental Center, we could click on it, and then it's going to automatically load in all the business details that it found on Google Maps in here. So it just saves you a bit of time. Still got to give it a first name, last name, and email address, right? Because we've got to have somebody that has to have the ability to be the admin of that sub account. So that could be you if you're building it for a client. It could be your client's name and email address, but preferably it'd probably be you. And then, of course, you would need to select a time zone as well. And then you click save and it creates a sub account. So I won't go through that right here, right now, but I just want to show you that's how you can do it. The other way you can do it is manually, of course, which is the way I typically do it. So if I go create sub account, select the blank snapshot again, and then come in here and click on add account manually. And when I do that, I still have the same page that comes up later. It just doesn't have any business information in it because I didn't select one off of the map. So I would have to fill in the business name, street address, city, state, country, zip, phone number, website, and time zone for that business. But the top three are exactly the same and will not be filled in whether you do it off the map or manually. So there you have it. That's how you create a sub account. Now, once you create a sub account, let me go back to sub accounts. Then what you can do once you have some sub accounts created, you'll see them listed here. Once you see them listed here, it kind of gives you a brief overview of a lot of things that are going on with it, right? So it gives you the name of the sub account, the address, the phone number, of course. It tells you how many active users are in that sub account, how many contacts, how many calls, how many minutes have been used, number of appointments, emails sent, opened, etc., submissions on your forms here. So if you hover over them, total form submissions, total survey submissions, total Facebook form submissions. Here was outgoing emails. The first one was incoming emails. Text messages, we have incoming text messages, outgoing text messages, reviews. We have total reviews, we have positive reviews, we have negative reviews. Over here with appointments, number of appointments booked, let's go total talk time. We have outgoing calls, we have inbound calls or incoming calls, number of contacts created, active users. Okay, so you can hover over all those if you're not sure what they are. You can click on reports and go look at that. You can switch into the sub account as well and see it from the sub account perspective, which we'll do later in some other videos. if you click on these three dots, you can manage the client and you can switch to SaaS on the fly right here. We'll be doing that here in a second as well. And then I wanted to cover these things too. So right here it says WordPress not sold yet, because and with the WordPress logo and the X means it doesn't have it. We don't have Yext in here. We don't have this on SaaS mode for this particular sub account because this is a engine sub account of mine, so there's no Stripe hooked up to it. Managed by LC phone, and of course managed by LC email. Most or almost all of them will have that enabled. If we scroll down, we can probably see one that has some more icons in there. And by the way, if you have any sub accounts where their payment didn't go through, it automatically will pause the sub account and it will tell you this sub account is paused. Your clients can't log in, but agency can. To resume this account, click here. So if I wanted to resume it manually, I can, but the reason this one is paused is because the payment didn't go through or they canceled their account at this point. I want to show you one that here's another one that's a good one to look at. So this one here under AJ, he doesn't have these two things, but he does have SaaS subscription is active. So when there's actually a credit card connected for payment through Stripe, it will show up here. If they are doing email rebilling is active, it's showing here. Phone or Twilio rebilling is active. And then we have SaaS mode is activated. We still have these two about managed LC, email and phone, and then their wallet balance, right? So this is for paying for their credits for the different services that they need to use within their sub account, right? Whether that's sending emails, sending text messages, using the phone to call, etc., and or any of the AI functionality too. So if we scroll back up to the top, the other thing we have here is we can view scheduled reports. We can search for sub accounts by start typing in there. We can look at different columns. We can sort these, different ways, A to Z, Z to A, and then we can reload the page. And you can select different time frames to look at accounts based on time frames. I don't know why you'd ever want to use that, but it is there as well. And then if we want to, the next thing I want to show you in sub accounts is managing a client. So if I go into this sub account to manage this particular client, you can see it's just set up for me. I have my name in there, my email address, my phone number. I don't have any activity here, so I have no notes, but you can make notes and add tasks, which is very cool. That's very helpful sometimes if you need to do certain things for certain clients, or certain clients you want to make certain notes about. Active services, I have no added services on this plan or on this particular sub account. Again, no tasks. Offer conversation AI is enabled. This is your high level price. This is how much you can profit from it based on this default number that they put in here for your price. You can change this to anything you want. You can also agree to enable conversation AI for this client without resell, and I acknowledge that I will be charged $49 a month. But if you do that, you will have to hit pay now, and then you have to actually start paying for it. So do not do this unless you're actively going to be using it for yourself in your own sub account and you want to pay for it and use it so you don't pay the markup price, or if you want to give this as a bonus or something to a client, but you're going to be paying for it, not your client, if you enable this. Okay. Offer Yext, same thing. So these same principles apply. This is the WhatsApp resell. This is the WordPress resell. They have something called Health Pro. Not really sure. I have never used it. It's brand new. They have the resell QR code generator as well. They have resell text tools, and they have resell Stripe for workflows. They have resell deadline easy. I mean, these are all brand new things that they've added recently, so I'm not familiar with them at all at this point. And then we have SaaS mode details here. So we have SaaS mode is disabled because this is just my own sub account under my HighLevel account, meaning I'm not going to charge myself to use my own sub accounts. And then I have dedicated IP here, but I'm not using it. And if we keep scrolling down, then finally we have SMS and email, and it shows the current limit for each of these, and I can always increase the limits if I need to. And then very bottom here, advanced email settings, control the location settings. So then right here we have enable re-verification for 90 days. Each email verification status will be revoked after 90 days. Protects your sender reputation and ensure the highest inbox deliverability. And then we have this final one here, disable the add email service button in the sub account email service settings. restrict sub-account users to add their own email service provider. So then that's off by default. Okay. So that is some of the things you can do. Then the other thing I wanted to show you, you can still switch into sub-account with this button. Under Actions is where you can load a snapshot. So remember when we were setting up the account, we could add the snapshot when we set up the account. And I said I don't ever do that. I pretty much only add them after the fact. Well, this is how I do it. So once you go into Manage Client or Manage the sub-account, then when you click on Actions, you can click on Load Sub-account, or I'm sorry, Load Snapshot. And once you do that, you can choose your snapshot. You can either pick from the list, or you can start typing if you're looking for something in particular. Like you just start typing a few characters and the things will pop up that are related to that. And then you click Proceed, and then you go through the steps to make sure there are no conflicts, and you can choose what you want to import from a snapshot and what you don't want to. By default, it will import everything, but you can choose to disable or uncheck the things you don't want to actually be imported to that particular sub-account. And that's pretty much it in sub-accounts. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'll do my best to answer them in a timely manner. And with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you real soon. Take care.